Peace, beautiful people. It is your girl, the real Tony Hickman. And I want to talk to you guys today about liquidarianism, disability, control, and letting go. I have been on liquids now for over 200 days. Now, within those 200 days, I have eaten. And when I've eaten, it's been cooked food and salads. Right? But it would be strictly because I was craving salt or craving something. But out of all of these months, and we're in August right now, at the end of August, I have eaten only about a month's worth of food. And the rest has been strictly liquids. Okay? And it's been a different kind of journey because it's opened up so much for me, and I'm not doing it for influence or anything or to fit in anybody's box. Honestly, I don't fit in anybody's box because it's crazy. Like I'm on this liquid journey, right? And before that, I did raw vegan and I did fruitarian and so, but while I'm on this liquid journey, I'm still a survivor of 2 brain aneurysms and a stroke, which means I still have partial paralysis. And so, even though I do the liquids for healing and healing internally, healing spiritually, healing within my traumas, there's more work that I have to do. And so the work I need to do as far as building my hand more or my muscles more, or I still have work to do. And I trust my process. I love myself through my process. Okay? But I don't fit in anybody's box, right? Because I don't know too many people that have disabilities. I don't know anybody who has disabilities of any kind, paralysis, whatever, that is focused on liquidarianism, raw veganism. I don't know anyone like that. And I'm sure they're out there. I just don't know them. I would hope to find them, though. Because we would understand each other. But I don't fit in the ableism box, even if there are people that are on this journey and are on liquids or on this journey. I still think or feel like when people identify someone as an aneurysm or stroke survivor or someone with a disability, period, they put them in a box of their perception. And unfortunately, our perceptions have made us see things in a greater than, less than value. And so while I acknowledge that I am on this journey of liquidarianism, I also acknowledge that it is a solo journey of liquidarianism and wherever it's leading me, because I did raw veganism in 2018. I know the same year that I did raw vegan was the same year that my mother was going through a lot of trauma and sickness. And even though I have been on my own since I was 15 years old, my mother is still like my best friend. And so watching her, because I'm her only child, right? I'm her only child. She doesn't have any more children. And so watching her go through this was hard. and I had so many anxiety attacks, but I felt like being raw vegan was that one thing that I could control. If I couldn't control nothing else, I couldn't control my mother, I couldn't control what was happening to her, I could control my diet, I could control what I put in my mouth. And so under like intensive stress and dealing with anxiety attacks and all of that, I mastered eating a certain way and not bending from it, because that was the only thing that was stable in my life, if that makes sense. And so we went to the following year and I did fruitarianism. And so the fruitarianism, I was pretty much 100%, but I would still eat every blue moon. I would still eat cooked food. Yeah, I would still eat cooked. I ate more cooked that following year than I did the year before. But I still mainly was raw. I was still mainly fruitarian. And then after that, I stuck to like the fruitarianism. I took that year after year, but I would still eat cooked every now and then. I would just eat it. But the beginning of this year, I started liquids, and it wasn't because of someone I saw. It was just something I decided to do. And I did this fast. I did a 21-day liquid fast, and some people don't call it a liquid fast if you are drinking juices. And you can call it what you want. It's still a process of healing. For me, again, it was about control, because I had a lot of things going on in my life, and so I needed to have something that I can control. And so now I have been on liquids over 200 days, but I have realized also that I actually like what I feel on liquids. And again, I'm not doing it for anybody. I don't fit in anybody's box. I'm still a person who's had a disability that is on liquids, who's had 2 brain aneurysms and a stroke. And I really don't know any people that have disabilities, period, that are on a serious health journey. And I'm not saying that they're not out there. I just don't know them. I would love to know them, because I think that we would probably understand each other better. But I find that I don't fit in any boxes. And so on this journey, it is definitely a solo, inward reflecting journey. But I do love what I feel on this journey. I love how light I feel. And, you know, people look at liquidarianism or raw veganism, or people that are really self-conscious or really conscious about their health. And they look at it and they're just like, oh, well, you know, if you're focusing on this, then you need to be healed. That means you should be focusing on healing. You should be blah, blah, blah. But it's way more than that. You heal yourself internally with liquids, and you can still, with a clean diet, you can heal yourself internally, but you still have to work on building muscle. You still have to work on breaking these boundaries that you have created in your mind. But beyond all of that, see, this is the key, because perception is a mug. Like, so many people can assume that because you have a disability, you are put in a bracket of less than. And unfortunately, even those who consider themselves more conscious than others are the ones that eat lighter or do bigger things or whatever. A lot of people have a tendency to put themselves in these brackets that they think define them. And the reality is, the brackets are the biggest illusion. because when we start to put things in brackets, we don't take the journey, right? And so for me, this is definitely a solo journey because I am not fitting in anybody's box, and I don't want to. I don't have to. I feel like I'm partially misunderstood by the ableism community. And then I think even with the disability community, because there is nobody doing what I'm doing, it's like a lot of misunderstanding there. But my journey is all inward. And that was a harsh reality for me to understand. And I really just came to this understanding recently that it's not about the boxes at all. It's really about following what my spirit is telling me to do, breaking my own internal issues that I deal with. And when I was on Raw Vegan, it was like I was dealing with all of these, I would be faced with all of my issues, right? But that's what eating lighter actually does. Eating lighter or putting lighter things into your body makes you see a mirror right in your face. It makes you see all the things that you need to correct within yourself. And that's the reality for everybody, regardless of what box they want to fit in with other people. You still individually have your closet of shit that you need to unpack and undo. And so the reality for me is the closet is mine and mine alone, because there is no group of people that I just completely bound to. Like, I have to do all of this by myself. You understand? Now, I do have someone very close to me that I consider like a sister that I really can talk to about, my unpacking. But it's still, at the end of the day, my job to unpack my own mess. And, but I don't regret the liquid journey at all, regardless, because this whole journey from raw vegan to fruitarianism to liquids, it reminds me of how much more I have to do. And again, I do it for me. I'm not doing it for nobody else. I'm doing it to be lighter, to be a better person on this earth, to help me get rid of ego, help me get rid of thoughts that are degrading to my higher self. And the liquids allow me to do that. And they also make me see all the things that I still need to do. Like, I still need to master my meditation every night. I do it in the bed sometimes, and I do it when I get up, but sitting still and just taking the time to sit still for an hour, I haven't done that in a long time. And we can make excuses for it, but the reality is there is no excuse. There's no excuse for nothing. I don't do excuses. It's just what it is. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share that, the liquid journey, like, for anybody that wants to do it and you're serious, just start. You'll be amazed. Now, you do get tempted to eat food, and I believe as the food is coming out, it's finally releasing out of your body, that's when you want to ingest it more. You crave the taste for it and everything. But what helped me each time want to go directly back to liquids is because I paid attention more to the feeling than the taste. So even though it would taste amazing, when it get in my stomach, it was just like, ugh, it was a downgrade. And so, yeah. But again, you do what you want. You can eat however you want. It's your choice. I'm doing it for me, you know. And if that's a goal that you have for yourself, disabled or not, and for my disability family, like if you find that you want to do something like this and you feel like the ableist community is not accepting of your journey, like do it. Allow me to be your first example if that's the case, because you know there's no reason why you shouldn't want to step into that bracket. Yeah, so on that note, I love y'all, and you know, follow your own peace, whatever you find your peace is, but listen to yourself, because our inner guide tells us everything. It tells us what we need to do. It tells us who we need to become, what journey we need to take, but we have to be obedient. And if we don't hear the voice, we hear our body talking to us. We hear when we eat the food and it has acid reflux all in our stomach, all in our chest. You know, when our stomach is feeling highly irritated, when you're getting headaches constantly from salty products and red meat, and you know, your body will talk to you even if you can't hear the voice. So on that note, I do have free downloads on my site. It will be on there until September 10th. I have downloads for herbs and ailments. I also have A Man's Cry for Health. Let me show y'all the book right quick. I have this book on the site, A Man's Cry for Health. It's listed with everything on it. It's so much information in this book, and it's absolutely free on my site, y'all, right now. I gave it away for my birthday, and so, but I'm taking it down on the 10th of September. So on that note, I love y'all, and sometimes our life will present that we do have to walk in our own lane, and that's okay. Start your own trail, you know? I love y'all. Peace.
I told the sun to follow me into the darkness, and I told